It's very girthy.
Girthy, like
Yes, the sound is thick. You choke on the sound. Ah.
It's almost like a vein.
Wait.
Cynation TV.
Oh yeah.
Previously on the evolution of creation.
This is a Ibanez RGJ Custom 7-string. This one is an Alvarez, which
Alvarez.
Yamaha C60.
Yamaha. I think I'm Filipino now. Holy shit. Putangina, I don't know where I'm from. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's talk about what you're going to pull out next. What is that one?
This is a 2016 Gibson Les Paul Studio.
You fucking like your white guitars like I'm my man.
No, it's nothing to do with the color.
Oh.
That one was what Simon had, so
Okay.
he's actually the one into plain looking guitars. He prefers it simple.
Oh, okay. I see.
And
What kind of, just is a fun question, what is the kind of guitar that you like?
Are you talking about
And the look.
looks?
See.
I like really out there shit.
Oh, okay. Which I know we're going
Just
to...
give me a
allude-
minute, I'm just gonna tune. I'm gonna pause.
Okay, we're going to fast forward. Okay, and we're back.
So this guitar I bought in 2016. I've always wanted a Gibson. I just like them. It's got a bit of weight to it if you wanna compare it to the other guitars.
This one nearly made me keel over. It's got quite... I didn't get to hold the other one, but this one is quite... it's very bottom heavy.
It has a shorter scale neck compared to the Ibanez and my Tellys.
It looked like a child's guitar.
We're calling Slash a child.
Yes.
These days I use this guitar for when I want to do a little bit different things. So right now it's tuned to D standard and then the top string is dropped to a C.
I don't know a single thing of what he just said, but I'm sure some people out there will understand.
It's got that heavier, I mean...
Well, I can hear the difference to begin with.
Yeah, but what it's great for...
It's interesting because there is a slightly deeper, darker tone to this one.
Yeah. It is a muddier sound,
Mm.
but it does have a great...
Let's talk a little bit about that nipple you were flicking on your guitar. What in God's name is that one?
That's a pretty old trick. It's just where... Because this pickup I find is just way too muddy to use.
What is that pickup called? The other one with the humbucker.
So this is your... They're both humbuckers. That's your bridge pickup.
Okay.
And that's your neck pickup. This one's muddier. What I do is I turn the volume off on the neck
Yeah.
and basically just use this as a kill switch.
Just be careful not to get people too aroused when you keep flicking the switch like that.
You can break it, but that way you can hit a harmonic.
Also, if I got it right, so the rhythm and the treble is it flips between one pickup and the other one.
Yeah, in the middle it's both, but since you have the volume off on this one, when you go to the middle it just kills it.
I
There's
see,
no
I
sound.
see. Very interesting. So what is different? Because the ESM, when you go heavy, it is very similar to the Ibanez. But what can you use this for that the Ibanez cannot do?
I think it's got a fuller, muddier sound with more sustain. You know. You know, you can hear it's got that real...
It's got a good whine to it as well.
Yeah, real fullness to it.
It's, you know, real screaming eagle kind of sound.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to describe it. You know, you can do double stops. It's really out of tune.
It puts blood in the ears.
Look at you, you're a fucking disgrace!
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether it is just because of what you're playing, but it seems like this one is better at that slower kind of solo. The other one you kind of shred and do all that. This one...
You can do the same on both. But there's just a certain like fullness to the Les Paul. It gives those bends a really good...
What kind of songs do you find yourself generally writing on this guitar?
I do tend to use it for any solos where I need a lot of bends or fullness. I also use it for rhythm tracks, which right now is, you know, put to this drop C. Because it has that kind of huge girth to it.
It's very girthy.
Girthy, like
Yeah, the sound is thick. You choke on the sound. Ah.
it's almost like a vein.
Wait.
That's-
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I think
He's already choking on the sound now.
we forgot about so the strings that I use for the Les Paul. I use these ones here, Ernie Ball Ultra Slinky.
I go to pick one up.
Yeah, it's 10 to 48 gauge. Just that's what I like on it. I do want to try to go heavier because, as we talked about earlier on, I'm used to the classical with its really thick gauge. It's heavy, and sometimes this just feels too light to me. And the problem with lighter gauges, and especially on a neck like this where it's a shorter scale so it's easier to bend, because I've gotten used to even bending on classicals and acoustics, I can bend notes sharp or pull them down flat sometimes.
That's not a good thing, I presume.
No, as you've seen.
Okay. I mean, I would assume as well that heavier strings should go with heavier guitar.
No, it's not necessarily.
No?
It's more of a... I don't think it changes the tone that much. I mean, some people are going to fight me on this. I think the tone...
Fight in the comments!
You can get a light gauge and get the same heavy tone by working your EQ and your amps and pedals and all that. But to me, it's not about the sound. It's more about how they feel in my head.
Because I think that makes a big impact.
Yeah. And the one downside of the Les Pauls is they're terrible at staying in tune.
Okay. As you can see, we had to tune this thing twice now.
Yeah. So let's get rid of it for now.
Before we do, I just want to confirm because there was one thing that you did was quite interesting. You would play some slide guitar.
Oh, I'm not really prepared for that today.
Is that on the Gibson? Is that something that the Gibson does well?
I haven't tuned it up for slide. For slide, I do tune it to an open D tuning.
We can do that for the next episode.
Yeah, I tune it to an open D, which basically means all the strings are tuned to your D major chord.
So that way you don't really have to fret. You just...
That's a separate story.
Okay, we will talk about that in a different video.
But yes, I do use the Les Paul for slide. Only because once you apply slide, it does cause the pitch to be quite harsh.
Oh, and that's why that muddier
The
sound...
muddiness of the Gibson actually suits the slide very well.
It balances out.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. I think that is enough of the Gibson, the heavy child's guitar. Let's move on to... I see you have two very colorful wallpaper beauties back there.
Yeah. This is my Nash T63 telly.
Yeah.
So it's Nash is an amazing builder that builds these Fender style replicas, I guess.
Look at that
Yeah.
relicking. I'm gonna take this opportunity to change up my accent. This beautiful, Holmes.
The relicking's not just for aesthetics, which even though it's beautiful, but if you look at the neck, it's been worn in such a way that makes it more comfortable. You know, you can see where someone's played. There's heavy fret wear. Not fret wear, neck wear.
Well, it's like because this part here is smooth. This part here is a little bit firmer. You know, it's got a better grip. You know, sorry, I'm just stroking the shaft of your neck.
I think Nash makes some of the best guitars, especially Fender style guitars. Honestly, better than Fender does.
He said it first. We've got it down here.
And at a better price point.
Hell yeah, that's my favorite.
And he signs off on every single one that leaves the factory. They don't make that many of them a year.
It's legit. It's a boutique guitar brand.
Yep.
So let's hear a little bit of this. Give us a little demo and then let's talk about what this guitar is good for.
Let's check my tuning real quick. And they stay in tune fantastically well. I don't even think I'll need to...
Better than
all good.
You've got a little bit of fluff in there, Holmes. Don't worry, I blow you, it's all good.
The reverb up on the amp all the way.
All the way?
Full.
Okay, coming up.
So I just want to show you something. By the way, we're using the Victory V40 Duchess. It's a glorious amp. So what you're hearing now is just the Nash into the Victory V40 with the reverb on full.
If it wasn't gay, I'd kiss you right now. That's such a beautiful, clean riff, clean sound. So I'm guessing that's what this Nash guitar is good for.
Yeah, it has an amazing clean, you know.
Let's talk a little bit about what's different because one thing is it's got a slightly less, it's got a bit of a thinner body, it's a lighter.
A lot lighter than the Gibson. Yeah, you can have a feel of it.
Oh, that's like nothing.
Yeah.
Compared, this one feels a bit more balanced all throughout. But there's something really cool about this guitar. I mean, even the head is quite small compared to like the Ibanez or the Gibson, This feels more like a child's guitar.
It has a longer string length, so there's more tension in the strings. So it's less floppy, I guess, the feel of the strings. Oh, sorry. Could you turn the reverb back to normal?
Back to normal.
Yeah. I normally put the reverb at halfway, always on.
So I think I would be pointing out the obvious that this is really good for ballads.
I use this for just about everything. And before we go further, on this particular model, I use the Ernie Boss Slinky top heavy bottoms. So it starts with a 10 gauge on the bottom, but it goes up to a 52, which is normally found on an 11 gauge. So we get much more.
It's funny because this actually, to me, sounds like the equivalent of the acoustic, but if it was electric.
Yeah, and that's these Lola Pickups.
Let's talk about the Lola Pickups, because each time your guitar has very different pickups.
They have so much clarity to them.
There's really something, because hearing the clean tone on the other guitars is one thing, but there's really something about this one that like it almost hypnotizes you.
And it kind of inspires me differently, you know, how they're so different, and I play differently on each one.
What are some things that you know with this guitar that you found that you were able to write better or write more of?
I think the clean tone on this guitar is just so inspiring that you end up just...
You know, it's very ethereal yet in a very grounded way. Like, you know what's the image I have in my mind? It's like if Jesus was born on a farm in Kansas and he was just, and that was his soundtrack.
But here's the thing, like you would think that it's limited to nice clean tones.
But let's hear this thing get dirty. Wow, it's a really interesting contrast to see how you go from one of the other guitars, which is a very heavy, muddy, you know, it's really there almost percussively. And in this case, you are still strumming and creating that, you know, percussion, but it's distorted yet cleaner.
It's really heavy, but there's still so much clarity coming through.
I can actually, from that tone, you know, I can hear a lot of particularly things like, it's almost like 70s rock, but then played, how do I describe it? The sound of 70s rock played during the 80s, if that makes sense. It's a bit specific, you know, like that sound, but then the way you're playing it is kind of like a bit more fast-paced, like the 80s, you know. They stop smoking weed, start doing cocaine, you know. But now, obviously, I can tell that you had this guitar was the influence for Cynation.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, I wrote a lot of the Cynation songs on the classical, but the newer Cynation stuff I started getting inspired by these ones.
Can you, actually writing off that, can you please play Anthem of the Damned, because I want to talk.
So, our camera battery died halfway, and we have no idea where it happened.
That's alright, we'll just oh fuck, I forgot my. That's alright, we're just gonna continue along. I do believe you were just playing us, you're telling us about some of the stuff that you've written recently. Can you please play Anthem of the Damned for me? I just want to hear something. It's really interesting because I do believe we spoke in an earlier episode and we talked about the Anthem of the Damned and the inspirations of it coming from this gypsy jazz, and you know it requires a lot of these you know very solidified notes, and I think this Nash is really good at, because of its clarity, it's really perfect for that kind of song.
Yeah, I mean, if you talk about Anthem of the Damned, something I'll be working on.
So I mean, it's really interesting to see that the difference between, you know, this guitar, you know, it can cover things like, you know, your really beautiful ballads and clean melodies, but then it's also got this it's got an edge when you apply distortion, but with clarity.
Yeah.
So that's really quite you know,
So
quite something.
it's really versatile. I mean, you know, we're going from that to
See, when I hear that now, because of the clarity combined with the distortion, you know what comes to mind?
what's that?
Power metal.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I think that's great for that.
And you know, even
Well, let's get that POV camera going again, huh?
we can use the wah in a very rhythmic way.
Beautiful stuff. Yeah, I mean, and it's great because, you know, we got 2 electric guitars down. This is our 3rd one. And this one already has a lot of variety, a lot of range,
Yeah.
you know, that it can achieve. So that's a really great, you know, addition.
The Yamaha BB434. This is the T68 Nash. It's basically a replica of the old Fender Paisley Telecasters.
Well, you know, I can see the pubic afro coming out.
Scratching behind the nut.
Yaks.
Yeah. So anyway, we're really happy that you guys stuck around for this 2-parter.
Yes.
Hopefully it makes sense to you. We had a great time shooting it, even though he fucked up.
You know, technology fucked up. Let's not point the fingers.
But if you'd like to check out some other stuff that I do in terms of music, we do have a brand new film out on the Shimashou Media channel. We'll put the links over here. Do check it out. It's called Night Gaunts. It features guitars, bass, a lot of synth and orchestral scoring stuff.
Yeah, we really made full use of all the stuff we've got.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything you've seen us talk about up to this episode, all in one project. So that'll be interesting, and we'll probably do a breakdown video of some of the scoring for that too.
We'll do one in one of the follow-up videos. We're gonna talk about both the composition with instruments, and we're gonna talk about the compositions with the program, the BBC Orchestra, and your Spitfire Labs.
Yes. So if you would love to support us to keep doing what we do, please buy a t-shirt. You can either get one of these.
Get one of these, Holmes.
Yep.
It's good, you know, you can start working out for the summer, and even if you don't, you let your gut hang out, and you're proud.
Messages on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
And hey, it goes with the guitar. Yeah.
So damn right.
Look at that. That's gorgeous.
You can message us to get these ones, or if you would like some other designs, check out our Teespring store over here. And we've got everything. For people, for dogs, for babies.
Yeah. For subhumans.
Like him.
Hey, fuck you. And then we also have, don't forget that this guy does music first and foremost. So don't forget to check out that link up over there.
Our music's available up there.
Oh!
Alright, so anyway, thanks for watching again. Until next time.
See ya.